the interesting thing about drug of choice is that drug of choice is about feelings as well. However, it's about a sequence of feelings. Each and every one of, well, let's do this together, okay? I want you guys to think of a state that you really enjoy. Could be drug-induced, could be legal or illegal, I don't care. Could be an erotic experience, I don't care. But I want you to know, I want you to realize, close your eyes for me. Take a deep breath in, relax, and remember that state that you really, really enjoy. Right? And I want you to remember the best example of that time. When you took that substance or you were going into that state, there was a sensation you noticed first that let you know the effect was starting to happen. And I want you to remember where in your body that feeling started and what it was like. And then when that feeling activated, there was another feeling that followed it somewhere else in your body that let you know the process was moving along faster, deepening. And then it moved to another place. And then another place. And then another place. Until eventually your entire body was completely under that influence. And then it came back to its point of origin and started again. And all I want you to do is trace that pathway through your body. Like a boat on a river, just let it circulate until your entire body is flowing in that feast. Let that feeling, those feelings come back. And then just amplify the speed at which it moves through your body. Allow it to flow stronger and stronger. And notice what happens. And enjoy it. Open your eyes, look around, notice what you notice. And then close your eyes and allow it to get even deeper. And now, from now on, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to notice that every time you reach up and touch your right earlobe, that feeling is going to double. The speed at which it circulates is going to triple and quadruple, getting more satisfying, more wonderful, mo better than ever before. And every time you touch your left earlobe, it's going to turn off like flipping a light switch. I want you to just practice. Each time you flip that right earlobe, it comes back 10 times stronger than the time before. Each time you touch that left earlobe, it shuts off completely. Back to full, rational, sane soberness. Well, with that other, I just want you to play with it. Notice it gets stronger and more effective each and every time. Take all the time you need to lock that in. And realize anytime you want to, anytime you need to, you can go into that state just by touching that earlobe and enjoy it for as long as you like. And when it's time to change your state, touch that other earlobe and enjoy those feelings. That's right. When you know you've got it, try to turn that shit off. Try to depotentiate those processes and notice what happens instead. Now, open your eyes. Click off your state, look up here. Guys all got it? Pretty cool, huh? That's how you can transfer anchors really quick. Okay? But remember this. Every state that we have has a feeling connected to it. You point to where we feel it, we have the key and the lock. Now we just trace it. We activate it. I'll give you another quick and dirty way to activate state. How many people here have ever been in a really profound trance state? Cool. Close your eyes. Remember the best state ever, the most powerful transformational state. If you were given a suggestion in this state, it just automatically engaged. You had no choice, and it was only the things you wanted most. The ultimate programming state. Maybe there's more than one. But I want you to remember that feeling, where it started, where it went. Notice there's a place in your body where that feeling lives. I want you to point to it. That's right. I want you to notice there's a color connected to that feeling. Notice the color, or set of colors. And notice it's moving. It's spinning in a certain direction. I want you to notice what happens to your body when that thing starts to speed up. Faster and faster. Notice what happens. Just allow it to spin faster and faster. Notice what happens to the state. You don't have to physically turn it. You can just notice it happening. Unless you want to physically turn it. And then, when you're ready to come out, slow it down. Spin it the other way. And allow your eyes to open. And if you want to go back in, spin it the other way. And play with that. Instant spin inductions. Pretty cool, huh? Right? And the last way, just pretend. Pretend to go into the deepest, most powerful transformational state you've ever been in. Notice where in your body you feel it. And go there. You're pretty stoned, aren't you, brother? Right? These are some very powerful ways that you can put yourself in state. Now, sometimes we need something a little bit more overt. Right? Now, Mark and Jerry both used to teach a technique called the finger drop, which is very easy to do. You just pick a finger, not pull a finger. Come out of state, guys, come on. I've fractionated you a little too much today, haven't I? Okay? And that's a good thing, because now you'll learn it even faster. So what you do now, any of these states, any of these triggers, you can use to induce a state, and then what you want to do, just like we did our earlobes, we want to use a finger. So maybe if I'm doing a drug of choice state, I'll start with the finger in the upright position, and then I'll drop myself, I'll sequence through that state. And then maybe when I want to come out, I'll reverse the process and allow the finger to come up. And I'll link the two together. So that as I re-trigger the state, I drop the finger and then I go. And then when I'm ready to come out, and the finger comes up. And I want to link them together. I want to wash, rinse, repeat this until when the finger comes up, I come up out of state. When the finger drops, I go back in. Boom. Right? That would be fun, right? Make sure it's something you're not going to accidentally trigger, right? Yes, Teresa.
When I do this stuff, I usually set a time.
Uh-huh.
I guess part of my fear, and I don't know if this is what I want to find out if it's just natural reality, is that if I go in, that I like going in, that I won't come out. So I usually set like a time.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what unconscious timing is going to do. Because once you have this finger trigger set up, you're going to get your cell phone out with a timer on it. And you're going to give yourself a suggestion. You're going to do this as a partner drill. And you're going to go into trance for exactly 30 seconds and have your unconscious mind bring you out. And you're going to keep practicing until you can consistently do it within a 5 second window either way. That's good enough. If you can get to, most people get right to like 29 seconds or 28 seconds. So, but the secret is you're going to have to learn to trust.
But if you don't set that time, you eventually come out.
Oh yeah, you'll eventually come out. You actually, one of two things will happen. You'll either come out or you'll go to sleep. Right? So the idea is when we're starting to do self-directed trance work, right, which you've all been doing, by the way, you don't need the other person anymore. You just don't know you don't need it, right? This is the one that really cements in the fact that you have an unconscious mind that you can actually rely on. It doesn't seem like a big deal. But one of the big problems that we have many times is calibration between the inner world and the outer world. Because we go into massive time distortion when we're in trance. And your unconscious mind can track all this, but you need to develop the pathway. right? So what I would like you guys to do before we do unconscious timing is I want you to practice the trancing and creating the triggers. And then what I want you to do, once you're in state, I want you to go through the Identity by Design silo on your own. I want you to go from gray room to magic frame to pillars of power, utilize the voice of authority, temporally edit, merge. Can we do that? Huh?
You're not doing that much.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We're going to do unconscious timing after we do this. The secret, once again, feeling, trigger. Lock that in. Go into state and play pretend. Just like when you were a little kid. And remember the key. If you can point to it, you can change it. For self-work, the key to this is getting your body engaged. Especially at the beginning. Okay? The more you get your body engaged, the more absorption you create.
What's the outline?
Voice of authority is just to create the voice of a trusted mentor. And actually what I do a lot of times is I use the voice of authority to guide me on what to do next. See, I installed it already. So you can just listen to it and have it guide you. But you've been through these processes over and over and over again. Right? So just be in that moment and do it. Right? And you're going to discover something pretty cool. Is that the more you get involved in the process, the more you'll forget you're doing it by yourself. Okay? Yes?
For those of us that couldn't see your fingers at all.
So again, think of a light switch, right? It's in the off position, on position, off position. So when the finger's up, I'm out of trance. When the finger drops, I'm in. Finger comes up, I come out. So you can do it both ways. You can go into trance and drop the finger, come out of trance and raise the finger, and eventually it'll be a feedback loop where one causes the other. Right? And that's the light switch. It's very simple.
What point are we going to separate all the things?
First, establish what trigger you would like. If you don't like fingers, you can do an earlobe, you can do a nose touch, you can do a keyword, I don't care. But the secret is you've got to generate the feeling first. You've got to decide what you want and what your trigger is going to be, generate the feeling and link them. Multiple times. You can't do this too much. Right? You've all been in trance a gazillion times this weekend. You know what it feels like. You're already there in it now. Okay? If you feel better, have somebody guide you through the process of creating the trigger. Compared to the processes you've been doing, this is like a walk in the park. Okay? You guys ready to play? Go. 30 minutes. Come out of trance, motherfuckers. All right. One more time. Decide which way you want to install a trigger for trance. You can generate the feeling, amplify the feeling. You can do drug of choice, which is moving the feeling around your body, creating that circuit. Okay? You can pretend to go into trance. They're all working, all going to work. Once you decide what your preferred mode is, link it to a stimulus. Most people like the finger drop. Mark Cunningham used to like to install a little switch behind the neck. You just tap them and down they go, all the way up. Thank you. Right? Yours is still there, obviously. But my point is, whatever the trigger, decide beforehand what the trigger is going to be, access the state, link them. Very simple. Just tell them, link it. Right? And practice it multiple times until it's consistent for you. It's a fractionation exercise. If you come out, you go in, anytime you go in, it goes deeper until they're connected. Right? Once you've got that, go into state, deepen yourself however you want to do it, and begin gray room. Go through your gray room, do some magic frame. Once you're done with magic frame, step into a pillar of power. Do your pillars of power. Listen to your voice of authority for a few minutes. Once you're done with voice of authority, float up above your timeline with a wave of your right hand, all the positives, wave of your left hand, do your temporal editing. Cycle through it. Emerge.
And we do this on our own.
Yeah.
All the powers, all the pillars are different.
As many as you like.
Okay.
As many as you like. As many times as you can from start to finish. Okay? And here's the, again, I'm going to come back to this. The more you get your body involved, the more powerful the experience will be. Whether you believe you're in trance or not. You understand that? It doesn't matter what your conscious mind believes. If you're pretending and the body's engaged, the changes will lock in. They will install. Okay?